If someone were to say, "Yo, brah, when you're on your third wave and it breaks, maybe it's time to try a gonzo," then you were to think, surfing. Maybe you're like me and really know nothing about surfing or what people who surf say to one another. But maybe it just means multi tools are expensive. So, how about trying something a little cheaper if you're going to abuse it, or there are still jerks out there who like taking other people's shit? Whatever the reason, here is my review for the Gonzo G203 24-in-1 multi-tool, which comes in a box with a holster and a bit kit. The Gonzo G203 is a Leatherman and Gerber-esque style multi-tool that typically hovers around $20, in case you needed my words to reinforce what you're seeing on screen. This sounds reasonable now that Leatherman thinks its wave is worth around $90. I like to say I ain't even mad about that, but I ain't. I ain't mad, or I am mad. Yeah, I am mad. Whatever. It's just a tool, right? So what about its basics? It has tools accessible from the outside or when the pliers are closed. Meaning if you're in a tactical beverage-based situation and need to get the bottle opener out in a hurry, you don't have to actually open the pliers. Okay, the tools are a little stiff at first and aren't the easiest to get out unless you have a strong coke nail, or coke nails if you're really into cocaine. The knife blades are made from a stainless steel with an HRC of 58. The rest of the tools and interior parts are also made from a stainless steel and not Play-Doh. The exterior frame is made from an aluminum alloy that appears to be anodized like most flashlights. There's only a tiny bit of plastic on the tool that appear to be solely for hand comfort and to protect your hands from getting pinched, which probably makes those people mad who don't think using tools should be comfortable. Okay, how about functionality instead of bad jokes? First, the pliers. They're spring-loaded with an external heavy-duty spring that is easily removable, so you get your choice, unlike the 3 Leatherman tools I own, which give you one or the other. The pliers aren't exactly needle nose, but they are long nose with wire cutters built in. Here they are compared to some other multi-tools. The cutter works pretty well. It makes short work of the wires used in my integrating sphere, or rather integrating pipe, which is made to measure flashlight lumens and not something you smoke. Then there are the guts. First, the right side or left side, which changes depending on the way you hold it, I find. Close up the pliers and you get access to the scissors for your art projects. To trim your nose hair. Wait, that's even weirder. They're a bit more flimsy feeling than on my Leatherman Wave, but they're also bigger. Then there's the flathead screwdriver, which does a good job of screwing, but not when compared to politicians. The bottle opener for social emergencies or those who like to drink on the job. And finally, the fourth on this side, which is a serrated blade, at about 2.25 inches, which comes reasonably sharp out of the box. Opening up the other side, you get a straight edge knife blade at 2.25 inches, also making it only a minor threat. I find it needed a bit of sharpening to be able to cut paper easily. No big deal after a little bit of work using the ceramic stones on my Spyderco Sharp Maker. Next is the square stud for the bit kit. Then there's the awl with the hole. There's a picture in the instruction manual of it doing some leather work, so it seems someone has found it useful one time, at least for the product photo shoot. And finally, the saw, which you could use for cutting small branches, or a toy if you're criminally insane. Personally, if I could trade any one of these tools for another tool, it would be the awl for a file, which I use on my Wave quite a bit. Anyway, how about that bit kit? First, pull out the peg, which is not something you would ever need to say to a pirate. Then get the peg to hex adapter and choose your bit. The adapter is magnetic on either side, so it holds the G203 well and holds the bit inside well enough to keep it from falling out depending on its orientation. While it does jiggle a little bit on the peg, I found you can shake it around quite a bit and the driver adapter never falls off. The tools are even cross-compatible with the Wave bit kit, although the Wave driver extension is deeper, so the Gonzo tools kind of fit deeper inside. The Wave's bits, on the other hand, fit perfectly on the Gonzo. It's just a standard 1/4 inch driver that comes with 11 bits, so you might be able to find some compatible ones laying around the house if you'd like to switch out some of the bits in the kit. All bits are about 25 millimeters long. There are 5 hex bits ranging from H2 to H6, 3 flathead bits, including a 3mm, 5mm, and 7mm according to my measurements, and then 3 Phillips bits, ranging from pH1 to pH3. So here's the weight compared to my Wave, my Leatherman PST, and my Sidekick. At its widest closed, it's about 48 millimeters. It's 21 millimeters thick. 165.1 millimeters with the pliers out, or 6.5 inches. Now, while a lot of the above information was fact-based, we have arrived at the opinion-based portion of the review, because I feel on YouTube there can never be enough opinions. It'd be nice if the tools lock, which is one of the things I love about my Wave, although I used the PST for years and it was never a problem. The straight edge could be a bit sharper out of the box. When I get a new multi-tool or knife, I feel I really haven't bonded with it yet, unless I've carelessly cut myself several times, which hasn't happened yet. I'm crossing my fingers though. That said, considering its price point at around $20, it's hard to find something with this much functionality. The pouch is kind of large, and the section for the bits could be better implemented by having a higher rise pocket, maybe made from elastic. When you compare it to the Leatherman Velcro pouch, the size is similar, and to be honest, the bit kit doesn't fit perfectly in that one either. And the driver loop makes it much easier to lose the extension on the Leatherman Wave. But this isn't a Leatherman Wave review, is it? The pouch is made from nylon, which feels like it's reinforced with some semi-rigid foam, and seems nice enough. Nice enough is a term that's okay to use when describing a pouch, but when describing people it means there's nothing really nice to say about them. For the most part, the G203 is built like a tank. With the exception of the scissors, I feel like every part is going to be as durable as a Leatherman product. So how does it feel in your hand? I feel when using the tools, not the plier part, the curve of the tool is pretty ergonomic and easier to hold than a Wave. Having a thicker top keeps the tool in your hand better than a straight tool when cutting or doing a repetitive motion. The trade-off, of course, is compactness. I found when using the pliers, though, there are some textured liner parts that ideally give you friction, but may provide a bit of irritation if you're not using the gloves and are using the tool without rest for extended periods of time. Alright, so let's wrap it up, Motor Mouth. There were no QC problems I found with the tool. Everything is solid, maybe a little too solid. Nothing broke or snapped during the testing period. While the engineering may not be as sleek as the nicer Leatherman, the quality is definitely close. It's as good or better than any Gerber tool I've used, and leaps and bounds better than any cheap brick and mortar multi-tools costing the same amount like at Walmart or something. If you don't have a lot of cash or live in an area where Leatherman tools are cost prohibitive, then it's really a no-brainer, because you can buy this most places in the world. There's a ton of functionality and quality for not a lot of money. Alright, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more budget tool, blade, headlamp, and flashlight reviews. I have plenty more I'm currently working on, so stay tuned, including some cool new Gonzo knives. This Gonzo G203 was provided by EDC gadget website GearBest for review. Check out their website for knives, flashlights, headlamps, and more multi-tools.